Cover systems. No good shooter AI exists without a cover system. How the hell do you make a cover system? Well, let's get into it. So, I am going to make a cover. I'm going to create an empty object. I'm going to give it a wall and not a quad. There's a wall. And we can probably go with actually seeing our wall. Now you're probably wondering why I'm putting it in here. Because this thing is going to have numerous things in it. So our wall is going to be higher, it's going to be wide, but it's going to be thin. Okay, so that's our wall. Nothing too special. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create another cube. And this one can also be 2, not that it matters too much for this. And I am going to move it over here. I am going to get rid of this stuff here. You don't need it. It's going to be a trigger. And I'm going to move it over there. And then I'm going to duplicate that and move it over here. So you have a wall and you have these 2 cover points. Now what's important here is you need a layer. So I've already gone ahead and made it, but I made a layer that's just for covers. So those are triggers in a layer. The other thing I'm going to do for now is I'm going to mark this as static. And I'll duplicate it. And I'll stick one here. And I'll stick one, say, there. Okay, and because they're static, I'm going to go into bake some navigation. So the idea is, how does an AI see cover? Well, let's create a little fake AI guy. And stick him here. Now, our AI is going to need an FSM. Now you don't want to get cover all the time, so we're going to call this from a small FSM after. So get cover. So what are we going to do? Okay, we are going to overlap sphere, and I believe that is on the ecosystem radius. So he's going to search in a 20 unit radius. And he's going to store those into an array called covers. And he's only going to search that layer. And if he finds them, then we need to do some information to that, right? See, now right now, if you wanted to see, if I hit play just on that, and we go over to our covers, he has found all those triggers. Okay, but what is the optimal spot, right? You can't just randomly choose one. That's silly. We need a player reference. And I'm going to put this into the inspector so we can do it after. So we also need some arrays. But first okay. So array get next. So from our covers, we have to go through all of our covers now, and we have to figure out which one is good. or which one's the best. This is going to be a basic cover. I could always add on to this later where you could put some weighted values based on distance and other things to it, but for now we're going to get the AI. He's just going to find the best possible cover and he's going to go there. Okay, so we're going to loop through all of our covers. We're going to get the position. We need 2 of those. We need a position of cover position, world. We need the position of the player, the one we're going to be hiding from. Okay. And we need a vector 3 operator, because what we want to do is we want to take our cover position and our player position, subtract them. We're going to get a new vector. We'll call this subtract. And then we need to normalize that. And then we also need our forward direction. This is also on the ecosystem of the cover. Which is why it's important when you're building these covers, this forward direction, right? That's critical. Okay, so we're getting the forward direction of the current cover that we're looking at. So now we have a direction and a forward direction. So now we need another operator, and we want to take our forward and the subtracted, and we want to get the angle, and this stores a float. Okay, so we're going to finish that one there because it's getting nice and big. So now that we have an angle, we need to compare it. We need to compare the angle to what we're going to do is we're going to create another float, and this one's going to be called the best angle. To best angle. And if it's less, then it's good. If it's greater, it's bad. And if it's bad, we're just going to go there and just keep looping through. If it's good, however, then the best angle is now this angle. And we'll make a new variable called target cover is this cover. Okay. And we're going to finish that, and we're going to go back over here. And it'll loop through, and if it finds something better, it will reset those. The other thing we need to do, though, is up here, because every time we run this, we need to more or less wipe all this data out. Okay. So this is going to be like a reset, right? So the best angle is now going to be 180. That is the worst possible thing. And make sure to put these above the get overlap sphere. Target cover, we're going to set that to a null. Alright, so there we have a reset. Scan the area. Then we're going to run through an array. We're going to get its angle. We're going to check its angle versus the best angle. And if it's the best angle, then we're going to set these values. Okay? Pretty simple so far. So we'll call this one calculate, or cal for short. Now we'll just leave that one as is. The other thing is this guy also needs a player, so we're going to create a, we'll use a sphere, how about? And this guy is going to be our mock player. So we're just going to drag the sphere into there. So what this guy is going to do is he is going to he has to find the cover, I guess, to begin with. So there we go. So we are going to send event to himself, to cal, to get cover. Okay. I'm going to throw in, you don't necessarily have to throw a next frame in here, but I'm going to because there's a lot of calculations in that FSM. So once we send this event, we need to get FSM we need a few of those, we'll say. So we need to, from the cal, we need to get the player stored as player. We need to get from the cal target cover is our cover. Nice, that's really all we need. Okay. Now, we don't want to run this logic if that stuff is empty. So we're just going to do a small check on the cover. Is null, is not null. So if it's null, then we're just going to wait. And then we're going to go back up here and retry it again. If it's not null though, then we are going to move our AI, which needs one of those. Fair enough. Oh, did we not get that? Okay. Get position. You could also just get FSM vector for this as well. So we're going to get position of the cover. So now we know where to go. He's going to move there. Now, once we're going there, it's almost easier to come over here, and we're just going to take those, copy, come down here, and we're going to paste them. Okay, so actually we're just going to come into here. So we're going to set AI destination right at the top. Don't need that. So what we're doing is we have found a cover. We're moving towards the cover. Get position. Oh, I think I messed that one up. It's okay, we can fix that. So we are going to move the flow compare up here. Get rid of that. So we need to get position. Actually, no, we don't. We already have the position up here, don't we? Yes, target position. But we do need to continually get it from the player every frame. We need to do this every frame from our target position. Okay? We're going to normalize that every frame. We're going to get the forward direction of the cover, which is coming from here, so that's good. We need this every frame, and then we're going to do this every frame. Only now we're not doing best angle. We're going to say, is it bad? We don't actually need it good. Only if it's bad. So if it's bad, go get a new one. Okay, now let me just double check this guy here, because I think we get position of the cover. Okay. Let's just do a quick test and see how that looks. So our AI is taking off and he's going over there. If I come over here, oh, he's running away. And where's he going to go? He's going to go over to that cover. If I come over here, look at him go. Okay, and if I come up this way, he's going over there. Pretty snazzy, eh? Now, once they're in cover, there's a lot of things you could do with these triggers. You can have the AI talking to these triggers, so you can do half covers, full covers, play different animations, travel between different covers. Like I said, the other thing you could do is run a weighted, kind of like a weighted system of thinking, so that based on distance and angles and maybe even time, he might change cover or move to a different cover, and it's just a matter of adding on to this system here, right? Like, this is just getting the best possible angled cover, right? Which works, and that's fine, but you might want to add on to this, right? And by all means, I might do another video showing how we add in some sample curves and do kind of a weighted thing, and maybe tie this into my AI movement tutorial. If you haven't seen, by all means, take a look at that. Like and subscribe if you like it. But yeah, so that's kind of how we set up a basic cover system in Playmaker. All good shooters have cover systems. Alright, check you guys later.